What's up, everybody? What's up, Connections? My name is Landon Medina here, and I am sitting down here with Clark McElroy and Chris Robarge of COPD, Respiratory Solutions and Mobility.
There you go.
There it is, right there. So
it's actually COPD, Respiratory and Mobility Solutions.
Oh, I was off. Oh, man.
That's all right.
See, you know what? You could have just let me go with that like Clark was going to do.
Yeah.
So, will you guys introduce yourselves? We'll start with you, Chris. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and who you are to the company.
Yeah, hi. My name is Chris Robarge. I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager for COPD, Respiratory and Mobility Solutions. I've been there almost 9 years. I came to work with Clark about 9 years ago and helped him build this business. And just a really, really great family-owned company, and I'm just happy to be part of it.
Perfect. And so I was introduced to Clark. Chris introduced him as the man of the not even of the company, but just this is the man. So I'll let Clark, will you introduce yourself? Tell us what being the man consists of.
Thank you, Landon, and thank you, Chris. I am Clark McElroy, the owner of COPD Respiratory and Mobility Solutions. Is that our name?
That's our name, Clark.
Have been the owner for about 20 years, and my wife, of course.
Absolutely.
I'm a respiratory therapist by a profession.
Perfect.
Have been for over 40 years.
Congratulations.
Actually started in this business about 40 years ago doing home care.
Here in Cheyenne?
Actually started out in Wheatland.
In Wheatland, okay.
And we grew, and now we're in Cheyenne.
So opened up a business in Wheatland?
Yes, we did.
And then expanded into Cheyenne?
Correct.
So you want to walk us through the timeline of that? I think people like feeling involved and know where this business started from.
Well, I came to Wyoming from Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
In a wagon.
In a wagon back in the day, huh?
But it was actually a station wagon. But I worked at the hospital, set up the respiratory department, and worked there for about 10 years.
Okay.
During that time, I started doing the home care business and grew that to 3 locations when I could finally do that full time and have done ever since.
Heck yeah. Now, explain a little bit what the home care business is. What do you guys do?
Well, we take care of primarily patients who have respiratory diseases or conditions. COPD is part of our name, which stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
Okay.
But that's not really all we do, although we take care of a lot of patients that suffer with that. But we deal with people who have obstructive sleep apnea.
Okay.
That's probably half of our business, people who have sleep disorders. Other respiratory diseases, asthma, bronchitis. There's a multitude of them.
Okay.
And now we've branched out into doing mobility, everything from walkers, wheelchairs, beds, all those type of apparatus, equipment, supplies that a patient might need. We are an aging population. There's about 10,000 people turning 65 every day.
Ooh.
And so we're getting to that point, myself included, where we are starting to need some of these things at home. Right.
So now, okay, walk me through the process. So let's say so from the time I find out I have sleep apnea to the time you guys are helping me solve that problem, how does that go?
Well, oftentimes the doctor will order what we call an overnight oxygen test or a nighttime oximetry.
Okay.
The patient will come into our office, pick up a device that they'll take home with them, and they'll wear it overnight, and it records their oxygen level throughout the night. We send that report to their doctor, and the test may show that they're normal. It may show that they have decreased oxygen levels during the night, and it may even indicate that they might benefit to go on and get an actual sleep study done in the sleep lab.
Okay.
Once that happens, if they are diagnosed with a sleep condition, then the doctor may contact us to set them up with a sleep machine, CPAP or a BiPAP,
Okay.
and oftentimes that's within a few days after they've had their test. We try to get them taken care of as soon as possible.
And then you guys bill their insurance for that?
Yes, we do.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I just, want to know the whole process there. So now, I guess that's where Chris comes in. So Chris sets up more people who are going to be referring people to your tests initially, right? Explain your job on this. I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything here, Chris. I apologize.
Well, we're a really small company, so we all carry many roles. So my job is really to grow the company. And a couple years ago, because of insurance cutbacks and different opportunities we saw in Cheyenne, we decided to branch out into more areas. So we went out and we now take care of the hospice patients. So we've signed hospice contracts. So both hospice companies in town, we provide equipment for them. We offer, everything in-house from wheelchairs, walkers, and all that kind of stuff. So we kind of branched out, and really what we kind of wanted to be was just that gap between, what Medicare or insurance will pay for and what they won't. And so our kind of slogan is we have solutions. So people come in all the time, and being a small, independent, family-owned company, we can be sometimes more flexible than some corporate companies.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, so part of my job is really just to grow our company. And on the other side of things, but I do everything from my fixed oxygen concentrators. We have a lot of people who own their own equipment in this town. Either they don't have insurance or their deductibles are way high. We can fix their equipment in-house if that's the right solution for them. We can sell them equipment out of pocket. We sell portable oxygen concentrators, which everyone wants, those Inogens they see on TV. We sell those outright. So we do a lot of things, but our main thing is just trying to fill that gap. We have Frontier Medical in town who does a really good job with their mobility stuff.
Okay.
And we just kind of fill that gap between what they do and the needs of the community. So
absolutely. I think that's I think you guys are in a business that not a lot of people think about until it's absolutely time that you need them. And,
right.
At some point that percentage of the population is going to need you guys no matter what. Right?
Right. And not only do we take care of elderly people, but sometimes newborns who are, have breathing problems.
Yeah. Okay.
So we do neonatal. We have a full-time respiratory therapist at our office, and
oh wow!
And he takes care of all the setup in the those respiratory things like the CPAPs and so on.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm a respiratory therapist, so I do it too.
Oh, perfect.
And each of our offices, which we haven't gotten to yet, but we have a respiratory therapist at those offices.
Oh, awesome. And so those are the offices in Rawlins,
Lander, and
Wheatland, Casper, and here.
Yes.
You still have the one in Wheatland, correct?
We don't have a physical location. We have an employee there, and we serve that area, yes.
Perfect. Congratulations on the expansion. I was talking to him before the podcast started and just trying to pick his brains on how taking a company in Wheatland and growing it into what you guys have today. It's a pretty cool story, incredible journey.
Thank you. It's been fun.
I mean, one cool thing to add really was, especially with this pandemic that hit, which was hard on a lot of people. Some people lost jobs, and Clark made a business decision as we wanted to hire as many people as we could. So at that time, we were contracting out some of our billing stuff, and Clark said, we need to bring those jobs in-house and create more jobs for Cheyenne, do the best we can through that. So
yes.
A big heads up to Clark.
Yeah.
I mean, just the thing that he even had that thought, like, hey, let's try to move as much business in-house as we can and provide employment for people. So
absolutely. That's I've been trying to do a lot of learning on just the roles and responsibilities of a CEO. of a company, and that's really cool you touched on that because, job creation. Like, you are helping create jobs for people in our local economy to feed their family.
That's important to us, and we're proud that we have statewide 20 employees.
Oh, man, congratulations.
So
you
that's
helped
pretty
20
cool.
people make it through this COVID stuff without having to worry about where the next meals come from. So now tell me, now that we're on the COVID topic, how did that affect your guys' business?
Well, I mean, it obviously changed a lot. Obviously, equipment was difficult to get.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, we do respirators, in-home respirators. So those things were high demand. So people were calling from all over, hospital beds. People were setting up COVID units in different states, calling for equipment. Equipment was really hard to get used to. Obviously, foot traffic for our retail side.
Yeah.
We didn't have the people coming in and looking at our stuff and buying stuff, and people were holding tight with money when it came to that point. But at the same time, other parts of our business obviously grew. I mean, we stayed strong with our setups. We adjusted really well, curbside delivery, all that kind of stuff.
There you go.
And we worked well with other things. We sold some equipment to Colorado that really needed it because they had a big spike in a certain area. And so we sold some equipment and were able to help them out down there.
Nice.
And and so our a lot of our retail thing, at the same time, we were kind of involved with hospice. So hospice kept us going through that. One of kind of the sad things in Cheyenne was that people were in the hospital, and obviously with the hospital, they wouldn't let people come up and see them. So a lot of people were trying to get on hospice and get home and be with family so they could spend their last few hours or days with their family. And so we were able to help set up beds within a couple hours and get people home so that they could be home with family. So, I mean, as a medical community, I think Cheyenne did a really good job working together. I think our hospital did what they could, and I think, we were part of that, and we were proud to be part of that. So
That's awesome. That I always that has to be tough to see firsthand like that. I couldn't imagine working. I was not built to work around that environment or be a paramedic or something like that. Not me. So hats off.
That brings back another memory.
Yeah.
My wife and I used to own the ambulance service in Wheatland.
Oh, wow.
And at the same time, we had the oxygen business, but I just thought of that.
How was that running an ambulance?
After a few years of that was enough. But,
yeah. Oh, man.
but-
I can't imagine that toll that took.
Yeah.
Whew. No, thank you.
Now we have a commercial that runs every week, and our granddaughter, who's 5, is in that commercial. She's kind of the star of it. But,
there you go.
but she's already planning to take over the company.
Heck yeah. How does that feel?
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, you already passed it down one generation.
Right.
Which is incredible. For those of you that don't know, Clark's daughter is running the company at this point,
Right.
correct?
That's correct.
Which is incredible. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and oh man, I think we'd butt heads a little bit, but I'd love it if she was interested in doing something like that. So,
Yeah.
my hats off to you on being able to accomplish this stuff.
Well, we're excited that the business is going to go on to the next generation,
And that they'll be able to continue to employ people.
right.
And everybody who I've met, really enjoys everybody at your office.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you guys have a culture there that's pretty incredible. Everybody told me when before you came back, Chris, they were all like, I'll bet you Chris will be like, hey, I'm Chris. I'm a Virgo. Everybody knew it, and almost word for word on what you said, and they all loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're a really small company. Sometimes the medical industry is kind of dry, and, we try to keep things fun. And like I said, one of our biggest things is that people can get a hold of us. I mean, you call our number 24 hours a day, you get a live person.
Love it.
So we don't have call centers. We're easy to reach. We're easy to do business with. We encourage people to come into our business. We have patients that come in just because they want to hang out sometimes. And yeah,
I think it'd be a good idea, for for people to stop in before they need you. It's always nice to have a fire plan.
Right.
And but I'm sure that doesn't happen too often, though, right? It's usually when they need you.
Yeah. When I first became a therapist, this is 40-some years ago.
Right off the train or right off the wagon?
Yeah, right off the wagon. But at that point, we didn't put a patient on oxygen until they were at end-stage life and, basically close to death.
Right.
Now they're diagnosing respiratory conditions way early and much more treatable.
Yep.
Get
a hold of it early.
Get them on nighttime oxygen, and it may not totally correct the problem, but it'll prevent some of the side effects of respiratory disease, such as, heart enlargement, congestive heart failure, and other conditions. Get them on the oxygen, and it makes the heart work easier. And so there's a lot more than just making people breathe easier. It's affecting our whole bodies.
Right. And we need to be educated on that. To help us in some of our marketing material, Chris, can you, like some of those facts and stuff like that, it would be nice, because I know you guys probably have them all over the office or on little, marketing material. But if you guys can send them over to us, I would like to be able to educate our community about stuff like that.
For example, we talk about obstructive sleep apnea. Well, I don't know the exact number. Let's just say 20 million have been diagnosed. There's that many that have not been yet diagnosed. They have the symptoms like daytime sleepiness or not sleeping well at night or, mental alertness, other things. And these are not people that are old. These are people in their 20s, 30s, 40s.
Oh, yeah.
That have this condition. Very treatable and very good success if they do the therapy.
It's funny you say that. My doctor, when I just went and got a physical, looked and said I have big tonsils. So she's like, are you gonna have problems? Like, you're gonna have problems with sleep apnea. And I was like, what is that?
Right.
Because but it's stuff like that I have no idea. And she told me like there could be long-term effects to that. And so that's stuff that, I had no idea about before.
Right.
So, if we can get some of that stuff, I'd love to get that out to our community.
Alrighty.
Good.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for joining me on the podcast here.
Thank you, Landon.
Thanks for telling us a little bit about what you guys got going on here for the business and how you're helping the community. I have appreciated your partnership with Connections. You guys have believed in us since early on, which is really cool. We were just talking about that.
Day one.
Yep. So, I would, as far as that information and stuff, I just would like to be able to get that out to the community, over I'm going to be here a long time, so I'd like to be able to help out as many people in the process.
Sure.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to our video editing team that puts these together for us. We really appreciate everything you guys do. And to the amazing community of Cheyenne, you guys have been incredible to us, the businesses that we work with, and just your neighbors. And it's really cool to live in a place like that. So thank you guys. Thanks for joining us. Right. And until next time, we'll see you later, everybody.